Hey everyone, and welcome to another interview. The Tea with Steve live stream. The Heart Brand sessions are absolutely on fire today, and they are. This next one is going to be no exception. I'm very, very excited because it's a subject that you guys will know is very, very close to my heart. And I've got another digital practitioner with me in the hot seat, so I'm really, really excited. Today, we're going to talk about sort of the life and business of being a digital owner, what brand means, what building a brand means, and also education. Education is fundamental in everything that myself and this lady does. So I'd like to bring on Lisa Goodchild. Lisa, how you doing?
Hiya. Lovely to see you on this gorgeous day.
It is, isn't it?
I need to get the paddling pool out, that's for sure.
Is that to keep cool or is that for the family?
The family, and to keep cool.
So I alluded right at the start of the intro to work in education. Obviously, you're a digital agency owner, and I really want to dive into that and share a little bit, so that people don't think that I'm making it all up about the challenges we have as digital business owners, and also to lean into the education side of things, which you do and which we do as well. So tell everyone a little bit about you.
So I started in digital, I started, say, 20 years ago. I was very lucky. I grew up in extreme poverty, but I was really lucky that somebody encouraged me to go to university. So extreme poverty in the way that, you know, there's many levels of poverty, and we were at the bottom pile. So, you know, people say they were in poverty, but they had a parent that was a professional, and that, you know, had a job and things like that. My mum had mental health issues and didn't have much support from family. So, you know, we were the children that no one was allowed to play with, but we was also the children that no family members even visited. So, you know, it was extreme. You know, we didn't have food in the cupboards, but what was great is that we learned to hustle, and that is what gave me the basis and the foundation for life, really. I think, you know, people think, I never want anyone to ever feel sorry for me growing up in that way, because actually it was relative, and we had loads of fun. You know, we were just out hustling, and it was only when people called you names you thought, oh, I'm a little bit different. But anyway, you ended up getting a lot of fight in you, and you ended up determined and coming back from, you know, you didn't really care, you brushed it off, and we were really good at hanging with different people as well. So I think that set me up for my foundations. Like every walk of life we had around us, you know, I would have my Uncle John pull up in his Ferrari or his Bentley as well. So, you know, you had this weird world where we, you know, everything touched it. And then my best friend's mum encouraged me to go to university, and I didn't get in at first. I was very lucky that the lecturer said, come in, have an interview. So I went in and had an interview, and I managed to get in. I did a maths and English test, managed to get in. But he recently told me, I was sharing my record of achievement and how bad it actually was. And actually, based on what teachers give you, it's awful. They crush you, literally. Not all teachers, gosh, but actually where I went to school and with my background, you know, they didn't understand where I was coming from. But my record of achievement was absolutely atrocious. And Tony Mann, who was my lecturer at Greenwich University for my digital media Bachelor of Science, which was an amazing course because it was in the beginning of the digital days, he said that the admissions officer actually had an argument with him and was like did not want me to come to the university. And he nearly left university because having a disagreement with her about me. So it was really lovely that he believed in me, and if he didn't, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it's so important. But at that university course, it was phenomenal because it gave me such confidence in terms of being in a room with people from every, you know, mostly middle class and up. You know, there was a couple of, you know, there was about 4 women on there. So there was a couple of, because it was a Bachelor of Science computing course. There was a couple of women that had children, so that, you know, they were struggling because they were single parents or whatever else. But yeah, it was an eye opener. That what happened was my first coursework, actually, my first piece of coursework, which was based on the word journey. And I created these, it was in 3D, it was in Studio Max, Director, which was a macro media product that you will know, I'm sure, that back in the day, Flash Macro Media created Flash, Director, really cool stuff. And I created this thing. It was like journey specs, and you press these buttons and you went on this journey and you had 3 options. It was great. But I got 96%, and I just couldn't believe it, because I'd come from this background and I felt so different. And actually, it really, it didn't make any difference. Actually, I had the same tools, this brain that I can use, and determination, actually, which growing up the way I did gave me. So that course was phenomenal. You did coding, you did 3D animation, came out.com crash, and set up a digital agency back then, but we did websites. So we worked with musicians, and we worked with estate agents. They were the ones that wanted to go online at the time. Anyway, we made some good money, and my dad came back in my life. So I sold that, and I went traveling with my dad. Then I came back again and started working for a guy called Dan Wagner, who had an amazing piece of software he had purchased from the crash, actually, boo.com. Which boo.com were so forward thinking, and it was e-commerce, and they were doing cool stuff. I mean, they'd put some of the e-commerce that's going on now to shame, because it was super revolutionary. It hasn't changed much in the 20 years that e-commerce has been around. It's pretty static. We haven't been revolutionary in that way, but I got to work with some of the coolest brands, and they were just going online. So, and I remember getting excited, when there was a website on an advert. It was like, yes, digital was getting through. We worked with like Mothercare and Panasonic and Ted Baker, and, taking them to their line online for their first experience was phenomenal. So then I had my daughter, and I felt I couldn't commit to, the chaos that was the e-commerce startup world that we were in. And I took an idea to Dan with a friend. Well, she was a friend at the time. I wouldn't say she's a close friend now. Things happen. Anyway,
we all have those stories.
We took an idea to him, and he invested in us. And that's where I met Shah Wasmond, and that's where I got very we became besties. It was love at first sight, as Shah would say, and I would say. We became besties, and I started realizing what was going on in the business as well. And I became very disillusioned about giving away equity, and what we were being used for an end result, which people have a different idea of what they're using you for. And I think Dan had his own idea, and my business partner at the time, she believed in Dan, I didn't. So I decided, I just loved social media. We was like backstage at the Basso and Brooke catwalk shows, and we was doing all Twitter and the stuff that no one was doing, and no one believed in social media then either. Everyone was just like, what is this thing? Facebook's gonna die. Well, they're still saying that now. It's like, please, yawn off. Social media is here to stay. It is powerful. So that's where I set up Digiwoo, and Digiwoo is just I love doing what I do. We've worked with some amazing brands, from entrepreneurs like Shah to June Sarpong, to big brands like Hewlett Packard, and they invested in a film, and we took that to market with them and that was amazing, because we got to do Cannes, and we did a live stream from a cinema in India to Cannes with all of the the cast. So the experiences have just been mind-blowing. And then about 6 years ago, I got to do the Marketing Academy with an amazing lady called Sherilyn Shatton, who's just phenomenal. And this lovely, we was at Shah's retreat, actually. That's what's hilarious as well. Was at Shah's retreat. Sherilyn was there, and actually Shah's retreat, it was unbelievable, because that was all just Shah woke up in the morning at we go to Barbados with each other, we have done through the years, gone on some fab holidays, and we both wake up really early because of the time difference, really, and because we get stuff done and then go and sunbathe. And she was like, I've got this idea of this retreat. Can we build a website? So we built the website like that day, and that was the birth of her retreat. And Sherilyn was there, and Annie put me forward, because Sherilyn had the Marketing Academy, and Annie put me forward for it, which was, they take 30 scholars from around the country, usually professionals in the marketing world that work for like Global Radio, to Saatchi and Saatchi, to Virgin, all of the top. So there's little entrepreneur. But I was really lucky. They take a couple of entrepreneurs, and I was lucky to be one of those entrepreneurs. And that was phenomenal, because I got to meet amazing people, scholars who are lifelong friends, and actually the whole setup of the Marketing Academy just blows your mind, because you are family once you're in there. Everyone looks after each other. But it was the experience. There's a course boot camp that you go through, and there's this amazing lady, Penny Ferguson, and Penny does the Living Leader, and the Living Leader, it just gave me so much confidence in terms of, as well, I told my story to the 30 people in the room, and it's just my story. It's not, I don't see it as bad. I know that people get inspired by it, so that's why I talk about it, because that's all I want to do, is inspire people. But at the Marketing Academy, that's where I thought, you sort of talk about your purpose. Penny gets you to delve into what you want in life. And I thought, do you know what? I want to help people that had not just my background. I want to inspire, people, generally everyone, doesn't matter what background, because I'm about inclusivity, but people who have a similar journey. Okay. When you grow up in council estates, as we know, it can be, you can't be what you can't see. And when you grow up in an area where predominantly there's loads of poor people around you, it's not anyone's fault. It's just, there are no, I can't ask anyone to get me work experience anyway. Gave me work experience at a nursery at my school. I mean, I just about like my own kids. It's not a good thing to do for someone like me. It's really, really big. But that's what led me to creating Digi Learning a few years back with my bestie, Sarah. She was Navis, but she's Wilson now because she's married. But Sarah's phenomenal as well, because she's been a similar journey. It was her mum that encouraged me to go university, Maggie. And Sarah's been, by my side with, she's my sister from another mister, and so is her sister as well, her sister Claire as well. And me and Sarah, we both had children, and we was just looking at the space going, I had done stuff in Barbados helping entrepreneurs. I'd been speaking at schools, so I'd been really, I'm just working out what it was that we wanted to offer as well, in terms of being a bit different, because there's a lot of the same stuff out there. And there's a lot of also people who maybe, don't realise that they're putting together these packages and they have no idea where these young people are coming from either. So they're chucking them all in they don't have an understanding of their journey. So it's me and Sarah decided, a couple of years ago, was like, we started writing these books on digital because there was no books. And then it's evolved into this amazing, brand that we're building. It's a charity as well. So we've got the charity arm, and we're going to be going into our social enterprise that will make money back to the charity arm as well. But the charity, we go into schools, and we work with schools and youth clubs, and we do workshops. We held like a VR day at Prendergast where we had amazing people come in. So from the creative engagement company, who are phenomenal as well. So Russ Lidstone runs that, and he was a mentor at the Marketing Academy. And I was like, Russ, I'm doing this digital, we're doing this Digi Day, this Digi Fest. And he was like, yeah, I'll help, whatever. He sent his whole team from Plymouth, who talked to all the kids and gave them experiences on virtual reality. And for someone, that was a big deal. He's taken all of his resources and he's just supported us wholeheartedly. And actually, he's said that he will support us in any way he possibly can, alongside many other brands. So it's getting really exciting. Things are, I believe we can make so much difference, and it's not just UK based. We work a lot. We do some stuff in Jamaica and Barbados as well, because I generally go on holiday to those places. And family, I've got family there, friends, really, really, lots of friends there. So my other half, he's half Jamaican, half Guyanese. But yeah, we've got lots of connections there. But we want to take this Commonwealth. So I've got Indian family as well, because my nan's Indian. So we want to go everywhere. We want to do a lot.
Right.
And Africa as well, because Africa is this amazing jewel that has got this creativity that no one's explored. They're going to put us to shame, the Africans.
Right. Before we go into that piece, because I know where it's going, I know where you're leading me. Let's just rewind a little bit. You mentioned about digital and and social media, and you being at the back of fashion shows and things like that. And it's something that we do as well. People don't respect and understand the process of social and live events. They just don't, and even in their day-to-day life, storytelling behind the scenes. We launched the Unite on Purpose campaign yesterday with Lindsay Boyd, and through this
Yeah.
And Twitter, which everyone thinks is extinct, it was trended in 10 minutes
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we got the momentum behind it, and we had the plan, the strategy, and the structure, and people knew what they were doing. So
Yeah.
where do you see, because the things that you and I used, 5-10 years ago, still working and still actioning, because it's systems and processes. Where do
Yeah.
you see digital going from here for over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, they say something like 80% of the jobs don't exist.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so passionate, and you're so passionate, because we know. And social media is giving me so much in terms of, I didn't have a black book growing up where I came
Yeah.
from, but using social media to connect with people, to talk passionately about a subject. People recognize you, people then approach you, people want to get involved. But it's really interesting because somebody on LinkedIn sent me a message, really cool guy, and he's always supportive of what we've done, and he's got us in to train some of the big companies he's been at. And he was like, Lisa, I'm doing a board meeting. Have you got any stats on social media? And I said to my 15-year-old daughter,
You joking?
my 15-year-old daughter was with me, and I said, this guy who needs stats on social media. She went, what else is there? I was like,
there's your stat.
That is
Video that.
Yeah, what else is there? Like, the power of social media, it changes elections. Like, let's get that right,
Yep.
We've got, in 10 years, this is going to be a shocking time that we will reflect on, in terms of Brexit, in terms of COVID. And COVID's bad, but in terms of it being heightened, and the false social media that's going around, the fake media, which, thank goodness, people like TikTok, who I believe they're going to play a big part of the future. They've just released a whole statement, and I loved, they've been really bashed, like, badly. And it's interesting because Facebook, Twitter, all of them have been bashed in the past, and now it's TikTok's turn. And because TikTok are Chinese, and they're gonna steal your data. Well, come on. Everyone's been stealing everyone's data, and they're not stealing data. It's to make their system work, and they're actually really transparent. And what I loved about them is they put a whole thing up saying, we want transparency. We want all social media to be transparent and talk about their algorithms and talk about what's going on. And I thought that was a brilliant step for them as a company to take forward. But yes, social media, digital. We've seen with COVID, we have to make sure that everyone's got these skills. Bless some of the poor elderly people. There was a segment on TV this morning, and it was about them having to go to the doctors on Zoom, and for us, like, that's perfect for me. I'm like, but for someone like my grandfather or someone like that, that would have been that would have given fear and anxiety, and it's a simple process for us, digital, we know what we're doing. But for someone like that, it scares me. We need to create, something of what we're doing at DigiLearning. We want to create digital leaders all over the world that will be in those communities, because we can't. Some communities, it's not for us to speak internally either. It's important for you to work with the communities and get people within those communities to start, teaching people. It's not for us to go, we're the know-it-alls. We want to pass that knowledge and keep those people up to date. So digital leaders for us is the way forward, ensuring that, people in society, all people, are able to access digital.
It's really interesting you say that, because we launched a program during COVID called Digital Dads.
Yeah, wicked.
Because when I started out, I didn't even know a fraction of what I know now about social and digital marketing. But I needed a way to sell radio. I was working in radio. I've been made redundant from a previous job, gone back into sales and marketing because that's what I knew. But sales and marketing then, and what it should have been then, it was just wrong. It was sales was over here, marketing was over here, and they should be, for me, one and the same. It's growth, not sales and marketing. It's a growth process. And so I was like, okay, how can I help other dads like me? Because I'd separated from my ex-wife, going through a divorce. I was in a new relationship. I wanted my diary to be my own. I was like, how can I spend more time with my family so I don't make the mistakes I made over there with my new family? And it was literally, using a way to, I use social to sell radio. I learned the skills, got myself a business coach, was out of the business in 8 months, running my own consultancy. And then within another 4 months, doubled the income. And I'm like, okay, I've got something. Let me show other people how to do it. Because I was in a supermarket. I was in the car park and I saw these two cars pull up in front of me. I was just put the shopping in. I was just checking my phone and I saw these 2 cars pull up, and a lady got out of one and the car was empty, and a dad got out of, or man got out of the other, and the car had 2 children in, and they were doing the handover. And it absolutely broke my heart. And I was like, how could, no disrespect to the lady, but how could I help the dad? Because I've been through that process. I've been through handing the kids over. I've been through my daughter clinging to my leg. How can I support that dad to have, maybe if I could help that dad have his diary was his own, give him something he could learn income, and actually that handover could be a 5-minute process instead of a long drive. He could work from the car if he needed to while he waited for his children and things like that. So that's why we launched Digital Dads, and it was just it's teaching dads to be, whether they're separated from their families or not. If they want to be the parent at home, I will teach you how to build your business to 6 figures, because I've got the process for that. So when you're sort of about digital learners and stuff, I'm like, I'm all over it. I get it. So you're taking it with young people into another level, and you're taking it, like you mentioned, Barbados, Africa. So share with us what your plans are there, because that's inspiring.
Yeah. So, and also, I just want to go back to you saying about your course with Digital Dads, which is brilliant and amazing, because my brother was the same. He had to get custody for his son, and he didn't have. He grew up with similar background. He wasn't lucky enough to go university, and as had to pull things together, and he created a gardening business, and we set up we created a logo and a Facebook page, and voila, he had a business. And my sister did the same, and my mum did the same, and that is so empowering. And a gardening business can be a pretty lucrative business. A cleaning business can be a lucrative. But my mum's got an ironing business. All she wants to do is go and watch an opera. It is perfect for her. Do you know what I mean? It gives her that. She's semi-retired. It gives her that little bit of time in front of when she's watching her soaps or whatever else to have a little bit of ironing, and then get to go and watch opera, although she's missing it at the moment massively.
I bet.
But in terms of what we're doing worldwide, so we're planning a whole careers fair segment coming up in September. So we're going to do 12 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks, which we focused on CVs and interview skills and elements like that. In the middle, we're going to be doing an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship 2 weeks sort of boot camp, and then there'll be 2 weeks of delivering to a brief, and then the final segment will be getting young people into jobs, or just opening their eyes up to jobs. So we're going to take that to offer that to Barbados and Jamaica as well, because we feel that at this moment in time, with what's going on, they have a real issue in Barbados and Jamaica, because they rely a lot on tourism, and it's something that we've been doing out there. I think Barbados, it's 40% tourism that they rely on it. So they really need help in a lot of ways, because they've got a dying population as well, because I don't think the population's gone up since 1982. So there's a lot of but it's such a magical place as well, in terms of the creativity and the people, the realness, the young people that are on the beaches hustling. These people are all entrepreneurial. So it's about opening up their eyes into what sort of businesses. And as I said, it doesn't have to be like they're going to go and set up a social media agency or a web design company. That's not what digital is anymore. Like we're back in the day. Digital touches every part of our lives now. So it's so important, even if it's down to watching TV. It's part of digital now. It's Netflix. It's, it's all of that. So it's so important that even if you're going to be a farmer, that you understand where you can research and find out how to, get that crop at its finest, and where you can research and get those tools, and, or your tool breaks. Like I dropped my phone in the swimming pool. So I took my phone apart and I got the water out. Do you know what I mean? But if I didn't look on the YouTube and find a video, then I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Absolutely.
So we're planning to do some major stuff out in the Caribbean as well. We want to work massively with the CARICOM. In terms of Black Lives Matter, there's a real massive effect we can have on the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And especially as a region, the effect you can see can be so huge in terms of results. And it's the creativity, the creative minds out there. I mean, when you think of like the Bob Marleys of the world or the Rihannas of the world from these islands, if they were just, you know, focused on and given a little bit more resources, they really would be able to shout loud. But yeah, it's exciting. So we're teaming up with a lot of other charities because we don't believe in reinventing the wheel, and we believe in collaboration.
Yep.
There's about 3 of us that somebody wants to gift land in Jamaica. So we want to create pop-up schools that will be these phenomenal pop-up schools around the world as well, supported with the virtual stuff.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting element that we're going down, and that will be, you know, in a couple of years once we've got the virtual element set up, and also our game that we're looking to build that will be taken into the schools. But it's all about entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. It's about free thinking. It's about opening up your mind. It's about living differently. And actually, I think COVID has, helped us accelerate that way that we're having to think differently in the world that we're living in today. But yeah, it's really exciting.
So with all of that into a nutshell, give me your one piece of advice that you would give anyone watching now that is wanting to either get into business or digital, or wants to push forward and inspire the people around them like you are. What is that one piece of information you'd share with them so they can take action on?
Go on Google and do a search on any video. If you want to build a website, there's a video that tells you how to do it. If you want to start something, there's a video to tell you. There's so much content. When I was younger, there was not that content. We went to the library to book. They didn't have a book on computing at our local library, you know?
Yeah.
It's really, everything is at your fingertips now. Use it like your courses, use them. There's all these free amazing things, and if you go on Eventbrite, there's loads of free stuff. Everyone's giving away free content now. Use it. You don't think that you have to be this ridiculous expert and know everything in the world, because that is not the way the world works. Digital is in its infancy. No one is an expert. Not one person. Whoever says they're an expert is chatting out of their backside. There are no experts in the world. Give us another 100 years, we might be able to call ourselves experts in digital. At the moment, we're babies. You know, it's a revolution, and it's a revolution to, you know, you can rise. We can all rise, and we can all rise together. It doesn't matter your background, if you're rich, you're poor, whatever. We can all be on the same page, and that's what's beautiful about digital. I've met people on every level, and we've embraced each other. So yeah.
Lisa, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I'm really, really grateful. Drop that mic. Where can everyone get in touch with you? Where's the best place for everyone to connect with you?
Or LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn at the moment. I love it. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram. I'm swaying towards LinkedIn and TikTok at the moment. I'm loving the platforms. I'm loving what direction they're going. But I love, I love social media. Love it. It's my game.
Awesome. Thank you ever so much for joining us today. I'm really, really grateful for your time, and good luck with everything. And we've had the conversation. I'll get my program over to you, and if there's anything else I can help with, then please let me know.
Yeah, thank you. Amazing.
No, you're welcome. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Yeah.
So there you have it. An absolute fantastic interview. And my friends, the mic drop. You can learn anything online. You can literally go right now. If you've got a problem, you think, you know what, actually, I don't have the resources to build my own website. Google, like Lisa said. There are platforms out there. You can go onto their platform. I'm going to throw it out there. Squarespace. They teach you how to set it up. But there are so many other things out there. You can learn everything that you need to learn to build a digital business or to bring your business online, because that's where it is. That is where we need to be. So many businesses I've just watched crush and die over the period of COVID, and because they did not know how to, or were reluctant to move from the traditional ways, they tried to hunker down, and literally within weeks they were gone. We've been working with businesses who literally turned from like earning 20-30 million pound turnover to zero overnight because they weren't online. So my friends, please look at how you can educate yourself and collaborate with those around you. There's plenty of people in the Tea with Steve group. You're more than welcome. There's a link around here so you can learn more about the Heart Brand Academy, so you can get that support to handhold yourself through the recession. Handhold yourself. You can be handheld through the recession to build your personal brand. And if it's like live video, the amount of bloopers I've just said this just then, I'm full of my words. It's okay to be you. Be completely and unapologetically you. Share your personality, because the right people will buy into, and you will detract the others. Take care, my friends. I will see you at 12 o'clock with my secret guest. See you later. Bye-bye.